Bianca Valerio and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is time for another amazing gastronomic experience here in Italy. If you can see, the tables behind me are filling up as we are here in Masanielli. So Masanielli has been rated year after year after year as like, if not the top 5, if not the top 3, it has been like hailed as the #1 pizza in the world. That's a tall feat for someone to actually claim such a title, right? And speaking of prestigious and titles, we're actually here in Caserta, like I said, in Italy. And Caserta because literally across the street, I show you guys on the outside, you're across the Caserta ground. So Caserta is like considered the Versailles of Italy. And in particular, it was the summer residence of the royal family back in the day. So in fact, a couple of years ago, I think maybe 2019, right before the pandemic, I had the chance of actually going around the Caserta grounds. So while we're studying the menu and figuring out what to get, because the menu looks intense, really different from your typical pizzeria, why don't I take you to that time in Caserta? So this is called the Versailles of Italy. And to be honest, I've been to Versailles. This is way bigger, but I guess because everybody in the world knows what Versailles is, and it's much easier to try and imagine what it would be like. And yes, take a look at her in the back. This is just the entrance, people. You go up, and then you go up some more. So beautiful. So big stairs. You know, it makes sense. Well, apart from the fact that they were super rich. But you know, the gowns back then were like super voluminous. I mean, you could fit like a dog, a car, and your grandma underneath that skirt. So you would definitely need a lot of space. A lot of space to make sure you fit in the stairs. Crazy. There's not much inside. I mean, from what I remember, Versailles was more filled. There was furniture. Again, I don't want to judge. I've only been to 2 rooms so far, but we passed by their chapel, a beautiful chapel. It's been modernized where it actually has like, what do you call those? Acrylic seats. So I guess they still actually use it till now. And then all these different like, rooms. And if you notice, like the chandeliers are actually quite low. They're really, really low. And these ceilings too, with so many frescoes, so many art, and just even the walls, really, really nice. Just think of all the lavish parties, all the guests from all over the world that they would have, or just having some tea. So this is the room of Mars. If you actually take a look at, I don't want to call them murals, but like, it's like the Greek goddesses and stuff. This room was meant to entertain like foreign guests of nobility, of people of the military who are VIPs and super important, just like myself. Seriously, can you imagine if you're dating someone or your husband is here and you can see them? It's like been a month and you still can't find them. Speaking of, here is a bedroom. And I remember back in the time, sure. Well, who cares? We have all this. So this room right behind me, it's called Sala della Primavera. So I'm guessing it's a spring room. So who knows? Maybe there's a room for spring, for fall, for summer. Once again, why wouldn't you? If you have 2,885 rooms, I would call a Star Trek room. I would call like a Louboutin room. I would call it like a Game of Thrones room. I'd have a room for every single thing. True enough. This room over here was called Sala dell'Autunno, which is autumn, I think. It's a perfect example of if you want to exercise but you still want to see something and not get too bored, this is the place for you. It is so big. And you're seeing so much art and so much color and so much everything. But it's nice because they're actually like these acrylic chairs like scattered all over the floors, all over the rooms. You can take a bit of a pit stop. Check your phone, check your pulse. You're good. And of course, what is a palace? A castle with a library filled with books. Of course, because knowledge is power. Now you can expect that every royal palace will always have some gigantic gardens, whether they have like labyrinths or mazes or just all these different like colorful flowers that changes all throughout the seasons. Let's see what this has in store for us. It is huge. So huge. So that's the palace right there. And thank God it stopped raining. It was horridly pouring just a little bit ago. And this is the gardens right there. You know, it's flat. You know, like I said, every royal palace has different designs in their garden. But the point is, it was massive. You needed a horse, you needed a carriage, just like the one that we saw right over there, to get from one point to another. It is insane. Imagine what a trip to the bathroom would be like. And speaking of carriage, we might as well ride one to get to the other side. Hi! I'm a little bit scared, but we're not going fast. That tree over there, 400 years old, that's a magnolia. And that house over there, that's a baby castle, and that's for the kids. It's bigger than my apartment.
It's a playhouse.
It's a playhouse. Insane. How cute. So that's a pond, and then that island right there, that's called the Island of Love. Pretty much it's where the king shags his little treats on the side. So that's the garden, and then that's the palace over there. And then all the way to the other side, if we just like zoom in, you see that little trail right there. It's called the English Garden.
English Garden,
and
yes.
it takes 3 hours to just complete.
25 hectares.
25 hectares.
Olive walk.
25 hectares?
25 hectares, olive walk.
Oh
Garden
my
English.
gosh. Imagine having your own private gym where you can run from the palace all the way to the very end, 4 kilometers. So now we're approaching the fountain that you can see that's so tiny from the end, and we're now here, and so much for taking us around. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alright guys, so I'm giving you a 360 view. And pretty much we went inside. Well, I'd like to think we went all around, and even through this hallway right there, there's 2 buildings, there's so much more. It is so massive. And from the outside, it really doesn't look like much, and everything is on the inside. And considering a lot has been removed, there's only so much that stuff is left, and still it was so grand, it was so beautiful. Now take a look at this square. I'm just making this shit up right now. I'm just assuming that because there's no fountain in the middle, there's nothing really special out here. I'm guessing this could have been like a parking lot, maybe for the carriages, for the chariots. I mean, they all had to park somewhere. I don't know. And take a look at that. There's like a balcony right there. Doot. And I'm thinking somebody's like scooting over and says, oh look, my Uber's there. I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know what rich people do. Okay, so as you're seated now, actually when you get here, they have a really strict policy. If you do a no-show, they charge you for that. If you are late, there is no grace period. I mean, you've traveled all the way here. This is not near Rome. You really need to travel by car or by train or whatnot to come all the way here for the full experience. Now, speaking of experience, they don't have a menu. In fact, you scan a QR code and it's gonna lead you to the menu like right here. So the menu's like right there. And when I'm looking at the pizzas, what's really impressive to me is there are so many vegetarian or vegan and vegetarian options. And no, this is not because they're trying to appease vegetarians or vegans. I think it's just really trying to expand their horizons on what good pizza is, that it doesn't always have to have meat, right? So because there's so many choices other than just your traditional margherita, yes, so that's why today we're gonna make sure that we're gonna try pizzas that are not your typical kind of pizzas, as you know, from Italy. Honestly, I'm really nervous about trying this pizza because living up to its hype, and I'm just like this regular person from a third world tropical country who is honestly, just based on my taste and my perception, is it really worth being number 1? I mean, imagine Food and Wine magazine had actually awarded it as like its top 50 best pizzas, which is pretty impressive. They're the 50 top pizza guide. So the Martucci, this Masanielli, is actually owned by 2 brothers. The fact that in 4 years in a row, you know, and this was just based on 2023, 4 years in a row, they have taken the top spot of the best pizza in the world. That's a lot to live up to. All right, guys, so we have our starters, but honestly, I was doing a bit of a roundabout of just watching people, what they were ordering. It's kind of interesting to see what people are interested to come here for. And honestly, I think we are the only table that ordered a starter. Wow. I just want to show you guys. So this frittatina vegetarian is so good. So it was kind of hard to break into. It's kind of like this really like intact shell, but the batter is so thin. Then you see like the cheese. It's just like stretching, so gooey, so yummy. And then when you bite into it, honestly, the first thing I tasted was the lemon. The lemon was so, pungent is not the word, it was just so striking, which is so nice, especially when you're eating something so oily. You know, that tartness just cuts through the grease right away, and because that's the initial taste that you have, it's almost like, okay, you get the oily and then suddenly that citrus burst, and then you get to, it's almost like an instant automatic palate cleanser, and then you taste all the other ingredients and the textures. Hot, gooey, and soft. In my daughter's words, it's like a risotto ball. So, you know, in a way, it's actually good that it's just 1 piece per order, because again, you come here for the pizza, ideally. You don't want to stuff yourself with too much. It is called a starter for a reason. And after the 10th try, it is not our pizza, ladies and gentlemen. It is not our pizza. Oh my God. Lord, seriously, every time we see three pizzas coming, we're just like, so this table behind us, they came in the same time as us, and they're just getting their pizzas now. The time is 1 hour and 25 minutes. Hey, fun fact, there is also a set menu, my sister said, so I reckon because there's a set menu, yay, it's here. Yes, that is so good. So basically, my sister got the Caserta pizza. You can see, like, made from the brick oven, and this pizza was actually recommended by the server. So Caserta is the area where we are right now, and then my daughter's pizza is it's a lot going on, and I believe the pizza was actually named after the chef. So in a way, it's actually nice that the pizzas that we got are very representative of this place, of the chef. And this is my pizza. You have a lot of zucchini flowers. Oh, that's so good. It's like the dough. The dough is phenomenal. It is just so yeasty, like so doughy, so soft, and perfectly, like, I mean, you were seeing it in the kitchen earlier, how they were preparing the dough, doing it with a lot of love. And even if they can do it in their sleep, it's still done so well. There's like a different person to do like just the dough, the separating of the dough, and then kneading the dough, and then putting it up in the setup station where you put your toppings depending on what pizza you had actually chosen. And then somebody then is in charge using that giant like shovel piece and bringing it into the brick oven. In fact, I saw 3 of them. I know you only see 2 on camera, but I saw a separate kitchen where there was actually another one. You know, when you tell a person that you're eating a vegetarian pizza, most of the vegetarian pizzas that I've tried, they're quite watery because vegetables hold a lot of water. Now this one, you know, the vegetables are just right. The zucchini flowers are so thin. And at the same time, the different cheeses are just, they're sweet, they're salty, there's creamy, there's something a little sharper. And then of course you have the texture of the cheese. It's really delightful is the word that I would have to say to this. It's a more delicate pizza, I would have to say, versus like something that has really sharp, salty flavors. This would be a really delicate type of pizza. I love it. Honestly, it tastes just as lovely as it looks. That's the perfect way to describe it. Okay, so my sister's pizza literally wiped out. And this is good. Our first meal for today was lunch. We wanted really to highlight the meal for today to just be this meal. And evidence of a great time. She's only got 1 slice left. Well, of course, she shared it with my daughter as well. My sister's pizza, it's got a lot of minced meat in it, so I couldn't try it. Now, I had my daughter try it, and she said, unlike her pizza, you know, it had the olives and also a kind of meat, that was a little bit saltier, like it had more salt, more punch to it. Now, my sister's pizza, the Caserta pizza, really juicy from the meat, not dried out at all, and then it has the right amount of saltiness to offset like the very, you know, like base of that mozzarella cheese. So we actually have a great contrast here. Have something that's a milder, sweeter, fragrant pizza with my Asian-inspired vegetarian pizza, and then my sister has got something that levels it up with some meat that's juicy, not too salty, but enough. And then my daughter's pizza has that, rounds it up with something a little bit saltier with those olives, with that meat. Very nice. So for those of you who are coming and you just really want to experience, I suggest, I saw a couple, they ordered one pizza and then they had glasses of wine and beer and then they shared it. I actually thought that they would be more strict with what you order, like that's why we ordered like one pizza each. But no, I think they know that everybody has different appetites, everybody has different tastes or budgets. And yeah, so at least I can show you guys on the vlog, again, this is not sponsored, at least the different types of pizza that we got to experience. Alright guys, so the question is, Bianca, is it really the best pizza in the world? Here are my thoughts, just my humble opinion, okay? If you take a look at the menu, the types of pizza that he has, they're very unique combinations. And obviously, as a chef, you are so well versed, experienced on what ingredients go together. It is like a symphony. It's like putting an outfit together. You just know what matches the best, or it's sometimes only you have that instinct of what pairs well. If you have something so unique, let's say my pizza that's Asian inspired, you're probably the only one who has it. So yes, you would be the best because you already have a reputation and the dough is so good. You pair things together. It would be hard to find a competition because there's probably no one who's going to be like you who will prepare a dish like this. Now, if we're going to talk about the best, let's say margherita pizza, then that would be harder because you have the rest of the world to compete with. The ones who are not featured in Food and Wine magazine, it could be just a grandma at home in Thailand who has mastered the art of margarita. Or at the same time, because people have different tastes. Some people like their margarita with more basil, some people like it with more mozzarella, some people like it with thick crust, with thin crust, with so on and so forth. Everybody has different tastes, so the best really is subjective. But would I ever come back here again to have this? I would. Because knowing that we've sampled these three flavors and they were pretty excellent, and those starters, those fritaninas, like damn, those were so good, gives us more reason to come back. So that for you is my answer. Whether it answered it or not, maybe I was being a little political correct, but I think I was being very objective. So who is to say what is truly the best? But for it to be rated the best, I would have to say it's well deserved. Alright guys, this is Bianca Valerio from Caserta, from Masanielli by Francesco Martucci. Take another bite from Italy with me on YouTube. Do subscribe. Until next time, bye guys!